Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the show. It's me, Chris, and of course, this time, unlike last week, we have the Jimmy.
What's happening? I'm finally back. Yeah.
Welcome back. Happy past Thanksgiving. Happy early December. Happy Maryland Rifle season opener this weekend.
It's an
Shout out
exciting
to
time.
shout out to Megan, who managed to be the first
First on the board.
on the board. Shot a deer today. So
Go, Megan. Good job.
now it's a numbers game. Now we just need to smack everything we see so that she can't catch up.
How'd she like gutting it?
Yeah, she didn't do that.
Somehow I knew that.
Yeah, she didn't do that. I will tell you though, is interesting. You know, we talk about you and I and people that hunt and understand bullets and that kind of thing. She shot it with a 243. It left a softball size hole in its shoulder.
In the exit wound?
No, the entrance.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's literally like this big. Like I could put
Yeah.
my whole hand. I could reach my whole hand in there and pull its shoulder bone out.
Yeah, I wonder if it hit the bone and kind of exploded. It just kind of
Something.
forced it out. Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Or I need to look and see what fucking hot ass rounds I gave her to
Seriously. I know. I might need to borrow some of those this week.
So yeah. So getting to the nitty gritty. Jimmy wasn't here in my last show. And I did my movie list, my overrated, underrated, or my overrated movies, my favorite movies, best movies, my best movie series, and my most overrated movie series. So I'll just give you a quick recap. Overrated movies were Pulp Fiction, Frozen, Fight Club, Titanic, and Avatar. Best movies were the original Hangover, Man on Fire, Toy Story, the original, American History X, and The Bourne Identity. My best movie series were John Wick, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, and the Equalizer series. And my most overrated movie series was the entire Ocean's 11 series, Star Wars, any Spider-Man movie, X-Men, and Twilight. So now we get to hear what Jimmy's reaction to that list is.
Yeah,
before Jimmy gets into it, guess what? Take a
what
guess.
happened?
It's back.
Oh my goodness.
The McRib.
There it is. There it is. I didn't know. I normally see all the ads for it. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's back. Only for
How many did you get?
week. I just got 2.
You stacked them up? Okay. Didn't. Yeah, there you go. They'll still be there.
So, all right, the movie list. Which one do you want to start with?
Yeah, let's go right from the top. So,
overrated movies.
So, overrated movies. You had run through
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Frozen. Fight Club. Titanic. And Avatar.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just go through my reactions. Pulp Fiction, you said was overrated?
Absolutely.
Yes, that's man, I'm such a relativist, I guess you would say, because overrated compared to what? Like, was the hype? So in this case, that one's a cult classic, like you said.
Right.
I swear to God, that's the most forgettable movie. It's
exactly
the best forgettable movie because I enjoy watching it whenever I watch it. And then if you were to ask me what happened, and I've probably seen it like 3 or 4 times at least, and I couldn't tell you the plot. Really. I mean, if I start watching it again, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what happens. But like, it's very forgettable.
Other than a gimp with an orange fucking ball in his mouth, I don't remember anything about the movie.
Yep. And then you had Frozen. Totally agree with that one. I think there was a lot of hype before it came out. I don't know. And maybe like the only people that like it are 6-year-old girls.
I don't know. Well, and their parents.
Do they? I don't. I mean, I didn't. I haven't found anybody that were like, oh, I really like that movie. It was very underwhelming. I agree. Then I think I had a problem. So you said Fight Club, right? Next,
Fight Club, yeah.
I do like Fight Club. I think that's. I think one thing that bothers me, and I'm not sorry about spoilers, but movies like that, or movies like what's the Devil's Advocate? I think it is, where basically they're lying to you the whole movie, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't. There's no way to tell. I mean, I guess in Fight Club, you're maybe supposedly can pick it up, but the way I don't think so. That does kind of bother me a little bit. If it was like, oh man, I should have recognized that, and you could have picked it up. I like that, but when they basically have this false reality throughout the whole movie, and there's no way for you to know,
Yeah.
and then it just becomes just plot twist at the end. That does bother me, but I think that's a good enough movie and and an interesting enough plot twist that I think it was in the acceptable category. And I do like Fight Club. I'm happy to rewatch that. I'm a big fan of the Rewatchables podcast. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
anybody
Yep.
listens to that a little bit, but um, and they do a lot of good movies that I'm a big fan of rewatching. But I like classifying those movies like it is good. It's good if it's rewatchable for sure. And I think Fight Club's rewatchable. So what else did you have there? You had
Titanic.
oh yeah, man, I I can't say much about it because I haven't seen it in probably 20 years. It's such a long movie. Yeah, it's hyped up. Was it? I get it was an entertaining watch. They haven't tried to redo it. Maybe that's a good sign that it's not that bad. I think the acting was pretty good, but it was just long, and we
Yeah.
know what happens. But and yeah, but with those major plot issues that people like to harp on, and then
And
you
then
had
last but not least, Avatar.
Avatar. No, I love Avatar. Sorry, I'm not on board with that. I love
Terrible movie.
Avatar.
The hype surrounding that. I think that movie got the hype because of the amount of money they spent on making it. But the
So
movie didn't live up to the hype.
if you recall, it came out at the same time. I think it was called. Was it Jarhead? So
Maybe.
it was like James Cameron versus his like ex wife or something that directed or produced Jarhead or something. So it was like went head to head. So there was like a lot of hype, but obviously they're in totally different categories. They
Right.
put they put I think it was revolutionary in its cinematic production at the time. They put many years into that movie before releasing. Um, and I think it's one of those movies. It's so good that you don't appreciate it because of how well done it is. It's the cinematography or computer graphics and whatever you call it is it's so realistic that you're like it's I don't know, I think it's mind blowing at how detailed and amazing it is visually. Maybe if you want to attack, I think some people like to attack the plot line and say that it follows something else. Maybe it's
Mm,
not an original plot line. It's
right.
basically Star Wars or something they want to call it. I don't know, but man, but I'm not a Star Wars fan, and we'll get to that. But I
Mm.
think I really enjoy Avatar. Um, both of them
And
so
I'm
far.
not saying that it's a horrible movie. I'm just saying that it's not. It was way overrated, and maybe that is the plot. Maybe that is the those types of things. But I definitely think it got way more hype than it ended up delivering.
I mean, yeah, I think I know. You know why it was hyped that much because it was a one of a kind, and they put a lot into it, and they needed to hype it up. And yeah, is it in? It's not in my top 10 movies. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Um, but I do really enjoy it, and I will, and I've rewatched it many times.
So
So yeah,
let's go to since we did overrated movies, let's do the overrated movie series next,
okay, and then
and then we'll go back to the positive shit.
yeah, there you go, there you go. So right off the bat, Star Wars.
Yeah.
could not care less. I didn't watch it as a kid, and I think, and I'm kind of surprised that you don't like it because um, you do have a couple years on me, and so I thought maybe
Damn.
that's a big factor. I didn't grow up watching it,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's a lot of people, young people that still do, but because their parents were into it. But for
Yeah.
me, um, I didn't start watching it until I was older, and I like when the fourth, fifth, and well, I guess episode 1, 2, and 3, the fourth,
Right.
fifth movies came out in the 90s. I didn't watch the first few that came out, the original ones, so I didn't jump on board. And then so it's just when I tried to rewatch the episode 4, 5, and 6, the original movies, it was tough to get through them.
Mm,
Just didn't do it for me. Not a fan.
yeah.
Um,
I'm with you.
I think I enjoyed the seventh movie that came out probably the best, and that was maybe the last one I watched. It was the only one, maybe because it was a more modern style. I feel like it had pretty good updated plot lines. They weren't tied to too much of the old stuff. So,
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, not a fan.
All right.
Sorry. There's a lot of
What about
Star Wars
what about
people
me
out there
throwing what about
on
me
us.
throwing the Spider-Man shit in there?
Uh, I was pretty late into the superhero movies in general. I never watched the Spider-Man ones. I really didn't care much for superhero movies. I did eventually get into them and like watched all the Marvel movies like in order, and I really like them. Overall, I really like them. Like the Avengers movies. I think you those are ones. All those movies you have to invest to
Mhm.
really understand because I feel like I watched them sporadically and didn't really get it, and I didn't remember it, so it was just they were just okay. And if you invest and you understand the characters and the different dynamics between them, it
Yeah.
makes them a lot more enjoyable.
Well,
But Spider,
Megan and I actually have a friend of ours who knows the entire Marvel movie line in order from the first movie through like whatever it is up to 40 or whatever they're at now in the order that you're supposed to watch them.
right, the chronological order or the order of release, but yeah, I think I watched them in the chronological order. Um,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, so
But Spider-Man, worst movies.
yeah, I don't think I even finished those. They're just nothing more than okay. Definitely overrated.
Yeah.
Um,
Then I
the
said kind of along the same lines, I said the X-Men movies because I think those are like
It's
garbage.
those are interesting you brought I'd never watched any of those, and it was pretty much when the Deadpool Wolverine movie was gonna come out, I decided
Mhm.
I was like, "Let me invest in the X-Men movies." So I watched probably the first, like, 4 of the basically, it's a Wolverine series, uh,
Mhm.
primarily, and they were decent, maybe not super memorable, but decent, but I stopped watching when, some of the I never got through the ones that are really old, like Apocalypse or something that whatever that is,
Mhm.
X-Men Apocalypse. I kind of stopped there. I didn't watch the Logan movies yet. I might watch those, but yeah, didn't really suck me in. Um, but now that you mention those, of like the Marvels and the superhero type series, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy are the ones I like the most.
I love
I,
those movies.
yeah, I think they're pretty hilarious, and especially like the crossovers with the Avengers
Well, I
when they
think
do.
I think we can do another show on this topic just specifically about superhero movies.
Mm.
Like I could break down, my favorite, my least favorite. That's a whole separate its own.
Didn't we do like one of the original shows was like hating on Spider-Man, right? Like
Mhm.
worst Marvel series or
Yeah.
not series but character. And then
Worst superhero.
I think did you have a relative or a buddy that was like that Spider-Man was their god basically? But they
Yeah.
probably knew more about it than me. So, and that maybe that's it. You like what you like, and you invest in a certain thing. Um,
Yeah.
like, actually, you remind me now. Yeah, we're talking about the superhero ones. I think I do like the Batman series. The those are ones I like casually watched, and then I went and actually invested and like got into them, and I think I do like them the more I watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever go back and rewatch the '90s Batman with Michael Keaton, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that is a wild movie for its time. They did some wild and crazy stuff. It kind of holds up pretty well. It's you where you can appreciate it. Like it's not how they would make it today, but you can just really appreciate what they did at the time.
Yeah.
It's a crazy movie.
Yeah.
I like it. Anyway, what else
Um,
is the
and
overrated?
Twilight, the series.
You're not gonna catch me watching any of those
Yeah, horrible.
drama
Don't waste your time.
drama
All three of
love
them.
story vampire movies. It's
Yeah.
not my thing. I'm not against, love stories or whatever. One of my, favorite top 10 movies is, I would say, consider a love story. Will
Yeah.
Smith, 7 pounds. Um, but yeah, that's yeah.
My
I
wife
can't
said the books suck too.
really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she read them all though.
Probably true. Yes, she said.
Lots and lots of people invest in those. I get it.
So what do we need? We don't need to spend a lot of time on that one because my point is like at the time when they were out, the hype was so freaking huge around them, but not so much anymore. I don't hear anyone begging for more. So let's put it that way.
I just need more out of a story. I mean, I guess I can't say much because I don't know anything about it, but all I see or kind of heard from it was just like teenage kind of drama,
Yes.
relationship drama, and somebody's a vampire. So I mean, yeah, I mean they're vampires, but like,
Do I date the vampire or do I date the werewolf? That's basically the
yeah, I
gist.
don't know. I didn't do that. Didn't appeal to me. So,
All right. What do you think about the Oceans series?
this is a sparking a conversation about very good movies that turn into series and the series fall apart
Mm-hmm.
because they're money makers. So like I don't think it's very well hyped. I don't think it's a hyped up series, to be honest.
Mm,
I freaking love the first Ocean's 11. I've watched that so many times. I think it's hilarious. I love the cast. And when I say the first, I mean the George Clooney, uh, Brad Pitt one. I know there's an original, but
yeah.
I'm talking about that one. That was original for me. I think it's hilarious. You kind of have to turn your brain off a little bit, but I thought it was very, very well done, in my opinion. The rest are pretty not memorable, especially the all-girl cast. Like,
Yeah, that was terrible.
that shouldn't even count.
It's like
Actually,
making a female. It's like making the female Ghostbusters. Why?
why? Yeah, just because the Ocean's 12 I think is maybe a little bit underrated, but it's also like it's just to me it's just an average good movie.
Mhm.
Not not fantastic.
All right.
I wonder what other ones that are hyped up. What other series are hyped up? But um,
Well, I'm
I
sure
guess
there's a bunch, but these are, I
maybe we'll get
sift
to that.
through a ton of
What
series.
what about Fast and Furious?
Now, I think are they on my? No, they're not on there. They're absolutely overrated. After the first one, it's the same goddamn movie.
Yeah, same kind of deal, right? So like the first movie was good. It had it was its right place and time, and I think, and served its purpose well. And
Yeah.
then they just wanted to make money off of it. Although I have heard good things about the newer ones. I mean, but as part of a ongoing thing forever, how can
Yeah, it's no different than like the Kingsman. Uh, it's this basically the plot. The plot doesn't change. The people do. Like instead of going after like an internal, threat, now they're going after, you know, another government or something. It's like it's not. It's never. It's the same damn thing. Just they're just going after different people.
hmm.
So, all right, best movie series.
Yeah, so wanted to touch on this while this is a good segue because probably an unpopular opinion of mine is I'm not a big action movie guy.
Hmm.
Like I say that only to say that there's like a right amount of action. There's enough action in a movie to get the point across, and it's got to be a good plot. But when it's just like endless fight scenes and buildings blowing up and all this, I don't care. Like it's just like okay, we see it, we get the point. That's a cool crash. Now let's get into it. So case in point, um, like Transformers. Absolutely love the Transformers first movie. Um, Again, probably had its right place and time. It was very technologically like well done.
Hmm.
Uh, Great plot line, I thought. And then it's just the same movie over and over again with just endless fight scenes. Like the graphics are pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. You have these
Hmm.
big giant robots destroying cities, but man, I get bored with it so fast.
Yeah,
And then probably to get into, did you have John Wick in your best series?
I did.
Yeah, so like I didn't watch those until late. Really liked the first movie. I kept watching them. They're pretty good, but I think that's another one that has just like endless fight scenes, which is like
I think the part that
realistic.
killed it for me was the ending of the last one. I mean, I still love the whole series, but the ending in the last one, it was a little disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've seen the fourth. Is the fourth one? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one yet. I think I've seen the first three.
Yep.
Um, but
Yeah. So I had John Wick, of course, Harry Potter.
yeah, you want to talk about Harry Potter?
I mean, do we
That
really need to?
I don't because
Yeah. I
I
mean, it's an
agree.
awesome series.
It's an awesome series. It has its place. It's not any one would be in like my top 10 movies, but as a whole, I really enjoy the series and it has a special place in my heart. Yeah.
And of
I didn't
course, my
even
wife
grow
said,
up with
and of course, my wife said the books are better.
it. The books are better. They're way more thorough. I'm very curious what HBO or Max or whatever is doing with it.
Yeah.
it my understanding is they're going to turn it into a series and make each book an entire season.
Hmm.
Um, that's going to really rely on the casting. I think we've hit a very good time. If this was done like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even less, that it would have been ultra woke
Hmm.
and everything has to be flipped, just like the Broadway show.
Right.
They have a black Hermione in all of them.
Yeah.
It's not even just like, okay, it's fitting for this actor. This actress is good, so she's going to portray this. Um, that's interesting. It throws you off. I've seen the play a couple times. Not I like stuff like that. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that maybe they've had a couple busts that attempted to be ultra woke, and so if they kind of, I think now they're in a place where they're going to avoid that and they're just going to focus on good
Actually,
quality.
cast people that should be in the roles.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to have somebody to buy in. If it's just a distracting thing, it'll throw off the whole series if people are just like, nope, that's woke garbage. It's just to fit a narrative,
Mhm.
or just you're gonna make somebody gay just because or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Yeah.
not. You need to stay true to the story. That's what people want. I don't care whatever it is. Stay true to the story. Make it fun. So it'll probably be very dramatic and
Mhm.
a little bit more, but hopefully they make it fun and they cast it well. I'm excited for it.
What do you think about Lord of the Rings?
Also, another series I watched so many movies as a kid. I was a huge movie kid. My mom worked at a movie store or whatever, the video store where you rented movies back in the day. So I don't know. I watched a lot of movies, but I say that because I never watched any of those until much later in life.
Mm.
Until I was in the military, I started watching those. Those are really cool. They're really good stories. I really like all the different characters, but man, you have to really invest in Lord of the Rings. I
I
think a lot.
invested. I watched the entire uncut, uh, from beginning to end, uncut of the three movies. And it was, I think it's, if you don't if without commercials, with everything in there, it's 19 and a half hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
That's I think that's almost exactly how long the entire Harry Potter series is.
yeah, and that's three movies to eight.
Yeah. And I think with it's easy to kind of dismiss Lord of the Rings because it's such an in-depth, complex story that there's a lot of background to it. There's all the different armies or whatever, or species, if you will, I guess, from
Yeah.
different areas. And if you don't understand that, it's easy to get lost. And so that's why you really have to kind of dive into it. Now, I did read the book also. I read the first Lord of the Rings book, had a really hard time getting through that one. It was slow and
I can't
sing-songy.
even get Megan to make it through a movie, much less getting her to read the book.
Yeah, I mean, I normally like the books better, but I really like the visual effects. And I think it's Hobbit.
Yeah.
Does that count as Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, you kind of have to put that as the series, because just like Star Wars, these are kind of like the prequels to where they are today.
I think I may even like that better. I really liked all the different depictions of the different types of characters in The Hobbit. I thought they're really well done. I do like them. That's a very good series. Yeah.
Cool. Hunger Games.
I'm a big Hunger Games fan.
Love the Hunger Games.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't jump on board. I thought it. I read the books. We watched it. My daughter was approaching, I guess, teenage years when the books came out, and she wanted to read them and knew the movie was going to come out. So, we wanted to pre-screen basically to see, because it was like, hey, this is a book about kids killing each other. Let me read it. So I read it. I got really into it. The books are really, really good. Highly recommend. I think a little better than the movies, but the movies do a great job, in my opinion. Like, you can only do so much. Like, you can't have an 8-hour movie.
Right.
So, I mean, nowadays you have the series, but like if you're trying to squeeze it into a 2+ hour movie, you can only do so much. And I thought they did a really good job with how they portrayed those storylines, and it's pretty dark. And I don't know. I don't. Although saying that, I don't love Jennifer Lawrence in that role.
Right. Yeah.
Interestingly, I think if I could replace anybody in that series, it would just be her. I think I like everybody else, and I think somebody else could have done that a little bit better. But I still really like the movies. I think the movies are well done. She annoys me as that character, and then maybe I got used to what I expected from the books, and she just had a really annoying attitude throughout the whole series, and it was, yeah, I think it could have been better. I don't think she played it maybe the right way, in my opinion. But other than that, like, really cool storyline. I think it was different, very different. That not didn't follow anything. It was pretty original. That from what I could tell. Like Hunger
All right.
Games.
So I think I think what we're gonna do is what I want to hear on our next show. So we'll give you some time to think about this.
Okay.
Is I want your top five favorite and your top five overrated.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I can do favorites. Overrated is gonna be tough.
Well, it's overrated to you.
No, no, no. I mean, I'll be able to do it ahead of the show. Just right now.
Yeah.
Right now,
No. This is for the next show. This is for our next show.
yeah. Well, and I'll try not to reuse what we've had because we had that discussion.
I mean,
I think I'll probably throw in some. At least, what are my top overrated?
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely some movies that people don't like, or,
Yeah.
or people like that. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do. How's your fantasy football team doing?
We're hanging in there. I think, like, I've been doing really well points wise,
Mhm.
and
Just coming up
But
against Buzzsaws.
yeah, coming up exactly. I'm losing the head-to-head matchups, but today I'm hanging in there. I'm fighting for a playoff spot. So I think as long as I get into playoffs, I'll be okay because my team is good at putting up some points. I got Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry carrying me, so I'm looking okay. And Brock Bowers as my tight end has been that was a great late round
Yeah.
selection. Happy
Well, and
with
I'll
that.
tell you what, I picked up Smith, the Miami tight end.
Yeah.
I picked him up 3 weeks ago. The lowest point total he's gotten me so far is 21.5 points.
Dang. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
26, 24, 22.
That's great. They just kind of, it's weird how teams will just suddenly start using them that way. And
Yeah.
then, it'll be a great player but then they'll stop using them. So, but
Of course.
if you find that you got to find that team that's using their tight end consistently, that's awesome.
Cool. All right. So we've kept you on here for a half hour, and quite frankly, Yellowstone's on. So,
Uh-oh.
and just to reiterate, and we can hit on it next time too. Joe Biden did in fact pardon his son today. So,
Yeah.
he said he wasn't going to do it. KJP said no, he's not going to do it. Well, he did. So there you go, Democrats. Once again, your leadership lied to you. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't have done it, because I probably would have too. But I also didn't go out publicly and promise I wasn't going to do it. So
has he kept to anything he says? Has the Democrats this whole administration just
I actually forgot we had a president. I actually forgot for like we haven't had a president in fucking 4 months minimum.
Or 4 years, but yeah.
But like we've visibly not had a president for 4 months.
Yeah, that's true. He's been gone. He's been gone completely. But we've gotten so used to a guy who shows up and just broadcast everybody. Oh, they're telling me to go here. They tell me to do this. What should I say? Like, are you a robot? Like you're supposed to be the leader of the free world, not somebody is ushering you around everywhere you go, telling you what to do, where to be, what to say. Sorry, dude. That's not normal. And we've been we're accepting that as a nation. That's awful. So
that's great.
Back to business. Take back America.
There's the tagline. So all right. So we will try to be back on Tuesday. We'll see. Tuesday's going to be an awful busy day. I have to be in my office that day, and then we've got something going on Tuesday night. I just don't remember what the hell it is. But we'll see what happens, and we'll make it work one way or another. So we'll talk to y'all later on this week. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving, and time to wind up for Christmas.
Coming down fast.
See y'all.
See ya.